Welcome back, grade 4s, to WorksheetCloud.com's online lessons. And you are back again with another exciting lesson. And today we are going to be looking at listening skills. And it's very important, so I hope that you are going to be listening quite carefully for this lesson. Grade 4s, if you have any questions about this lesson or any of my other lessons, please send an email to grade4@worksheetcloud.com and we will get back to you as soon as we can after this lesson. I hope that you're excited. Please, if you need to take a nice stretch for this morning, please do that so that you can be wide awake for our lesson today. And like I said, your lesson today is going to be on listening skills. So we are going to particularly be looking at listening comprehension skills, okay? And I know some of you know exactly what I am talking about because you get listening comprehensions at school. And then your teacher asks you to listen carefully. And some of you do, some of you don't. But today's lesson is going to definitely speak about those skills. So, the lesson outline for today. Let's see. We're going to have our quote for the day so that we can feel inspired and motivated to get through this day and this lesson. Then we're going to punctuate a paragraph. We're going to talk about listening skills. And I'm going to do a listening comprehension with you at the end of this lesson. So, get those ears out, grade 4s. We are definitely going to be using them a lot today. So the quote for today, say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. Cerebralis. Now, this isn't a traditional quote, grade 4. This is actually a song and it goes, say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. And the reason why I chose these words out of this particular song is because I like the idea of being brave. You know, brave to face the world, brave to explore talents, brave to be creative. Because when you set yourself apart from everybody, you make yourself special. And you need to be brave to do that, you know? To risk it and write a song, to risk it and write a story, draw a picture, take photographs. You are being brave. So that is what my message is for you today, grade 4s. Be brave, okay? And face the world with brevity as you move forward. And do yourself a favor, go and listen to the song by Cerebralis. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. It has a lot of it teaches you a lot about life and about how bravery can make you stand out amongst the rest of the world. So that is my quote for you today. Let's punctuate our paragraph. Here is my paragraph, and as usual, I'll read it with you once, and then I'm going to give you some time to punctuate it on your own. You can take a pencil or a pen at this stage and a page, write down the paragraph quickly and see if you can punctuate it, and then I will put the answers up on the screen. So, the weather was a bit strange. The clouds were nowhere to be seen, but there was so much rain. I thought that something must be wrong. Where had the clouds gone? The rain was pouring from a clear blue sky. Strange. Wow, there might be quite a few punctuation errors there, grade 4s. Please, good luck in finding them. And I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. Starting now. Okay, so in anticipation for helping you, I hope that you pause the video at this stage so that you can finish off on your own. Okay? If you prefer me to help you along the way, I have no problem in doing that. So I'm going to take my pen out over here so that I can fill in the answers. So, very first spelling or punctuation or grammar error that I need to be aware of is the fact that my sentence will always start with a capital letter. Okay, so that T should be a capital T. The weather, that word weather, this is like one of those homophone um, errors, okay? Where you think it's a one word, but it's actually another word because they sound exactly the same, but they have different spellings. So the weather that I'm actually looking for is the one spelled WEATHER. Okay, that is the weather that should be there. Okay, because the other weather is not the weather outside. So the weather we're talking about is the one where we can see if it's hot or cold, we're only outside. The weather was a bit strange. That should be a full stop over there because that is the end of that sentence. And again, I need to start with a capital letter. And the clouds were nowhere to be seen. Nowhere. Now that's no and that's where, but I can tell you, grade 4s, that is definitely a bad spelling of it because this W must come out, this K must come out. Okay, so nowhere should be no where. Okay, those two words must go together. To be seen. Nice, easy spelling error over here that I'm sure a lot of people make. Must be a E, not an A. Okay, seen before but, comma, there was so much rain. And that's a full stop over there. And again, I needs to be in a capital letter. Thought that something must be wrong. Full stop. Or exclamation mark. Something must be wrong. Where had the clouds gone? Right, where had the clouds gone? This is where had the clouds gone. So you see, even when I was reading, I was like, huh? Where had the clouds gone? That doesn't even make sense. So I know that there must be an H here, where, and of course in a capital letter. Where had the clouds gone? I know that therefore needs to be a question mark over there. And of course, the needs to be in a capital letter again. The rain was pouring from a clear blue sky. Okay, full stop. And over there, and then strange is a one-word sentence. Strange with my S capital letter and strange. So even though the sky was clear with no clouds, the rain was still pouring down. Okay, so let's see the answers without my crazy little handwriting over here. And there we have it. The weather was a bit strange. The clouds were nowhere to be seen, but there was so much rain. I thought that something must be wrong. Where had the clouds gone? The rain was pouring from a clear blue sky. Strange. Right. So I hope that you got all those answers correct, grade 4s. And if you didn't, practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. So please take a look at the answers and make sure that you've corrected all the mistakes that you made when you were rewriting the paragraph. So, in this lesson, we are going to be talking about our listening skills. And the first question that I have posed is, why listen? Why? Why do we need to listen? And here are my reasons. In everyday life, we need to listen in order to respond to things or to be able to follow a specific instruction. So if we are not listening, it will be very difficult for us to learn about things. Because in order for us to learn, we actually need to listen first. And then other things come like practicing it, learning how to do something. We first need to listen. Listening is so very important. And it's also one of the skills that children and adults really struggle with. If your parent says, look both ways before you cross the road, you should listen, because if you don't, you could get hurt. So if your mom and dad says, hey, please look left and right before you cross your road, you should know that and you should listen to them, because if you're crossing the road and you don't look both left and right, you could get knocked by a car. So again, very important to listen. In school, listening is essential to get a good grade at the end of the year. So when your teachers speak, giving instructions, it's important to listen to her or him, because getting good marks depends on your listening skills. And when I'm in class, I like to play games to give my children an idea of how important listening is. And one of the games I like to play is broken telephone. How do you play this? You can maybe play it at home. You tell something in someone's ear, okay? Then they go and tell the same thing into another person's ear, and so it goes on. Basically, at the end of the cycle, you'll notice that what you originally said is not what comes out at the end. So that shows specifically how listening skills is so important. So, listening skills. This part is telling you how to be good at listening skills, or how to be a good listener. Always look at the person who is speaking. If it's two people having a conversation, maintain eye contact. Okay, if it's your teacher in front of the class, or even me on the other side of the screen, look directly at me. Okay, listen for keywords. Okay, because this will help you understand what exactly the person is trying to say. Watch for body language and non-verbal cues like a smile or a frown. This tells you whether the person is happy or upset about what he or she is saying. Sometimes I can be saying, I'm fine, but my face isn't saying that. For example, I'm fine. Okay, as you can see, my face isn't saying that I'm fine. So those kind of non-verbal cues will help you understand what the person, or listen better, what the person is saying better. Do not interrupt the person. So when someone is talking and you are expected to listen, do not interrupt the person. Ask questions after if you need the person to clarify things for you, but don't interrupt while the person is speaking. And lastly, and I'll move out of your way for this, try to repeat what was said. This makes the person feel listened to. So try and say, so in other words, what you are saying is, and then repeat it. So then the person feels, oh my word, this person, child or adult, was listening to me. A listening comprehension. So you guys should know this. The story is on my phone, so I'm going to take that out and I'm going to read you the story on my phone. Please listen extra carefully, because you need to listen and be able to answer the questions when I am done. I'm going to read the story twice, so listen carefully. You're all with me, grade 4s? Let's get started. Right. Monsters under the bed. Blossom yawned and closed her eyes to sleep. But in the darkness she heard a noise in the room. She rushed out of her bed and turned on the light, but didn't see a thing. With a sigh of relief, Blossom turned the light back off and jumped into bed. As she closed her eyes again, another sound could be coming from under her bed. Yikes! She exclaimed and jumped off the bed again to turn on the light. Looking around the room, she didn't see a thing, but stood too afraid to look under the bed. This time, Blossom kept the light on and crept back under the covers. After 2 minutes had passed by, she heard a scratching noise under the bed and knew that this time something was certainly under her bed. Mom! She cried. Mom, come quickly! There's a monster under my bed. The author is Sandy D. Forbes. Like I said, grade 4s, I'm going to read it again. Monsters under the bed. Blossom yawned and closed her eyes to sleep. But in the darkness she heard a noise in the room. She rushed out of her bed and turned on the light, but didn't see a thing. With a sigh of relief, Blossom turned the light back off and jumped into bed. As she closed her eyes again, another sound could be heard coming from under her bed. Yikes! She exclaimed and jumped off the bed again to turn on the light. Looking around the room, she didn't see a thing, but stood too afraid to look under the bed. This time, Blossom kept the light on and crept back under the covers. After 2 minutes, after 2 minutes passed by, she heard a scratching noise under her bed and knew that this time something was certainly under the bed. Mom! She cried. Mom, come quickly! There's a monster under my bed. That's the end of the story. The author is Sandy D. Forbes. Okay, so I hope you listened extra carefully to that story because now I'm going to place the questions on the screen. What is the title of this story? Who is the main character of the story? What made Blossom jump out of bed? Where was the sound coming from? How did Blossom feel? What did she do when she heard the scratching sound? Those are my 6 questions for you, grade 4s. I hope you listen carefully so that you are able to answer the questions. One more time. I'm going to read it to you one more time. And this time you need to remember the questions and try to look for the answers as I read the story one more time. So let me recap. I've read the story twice, then I read the questions, and now I'm reading the story again so that you can actually find what the answers could possibly be. Monsters under the bed. Blossom yawned and closed her eyes to sleep. But in the darkness she heard a noise in the room. She rushed out of her bed and turned on the light, but didn't see a thing. With a sigh of relief, Blossom turned the light back off and jumped back into bed. As she closed her eyes again, another sound could be heard from coming under her bed. Yikes! She exclaimed and jumped off the bed again and turned on the light. Looking around the room, she didn't see a thing, but stood too afraid to look under the bed. This time, Blossom kept the light on and crept back under the covers. After 2 minutes had passed by, she heard a scratching sound under her bed, and she knew that this time something was certainly under the bed. "Mom!" she cried. "Mom, come quickly! There's a monster under my bed." The end. And this author is Sandy D. Forbes. So now I have given you the opportunity to listen to the story twice. I read the questions and now I read the story again. So I'm going to place the questions back on the screen, which I've done now. Okay, and next to them, we're going to put the answers. So for now, grade 4s, I want you to try and press pause at the stage, write down the answers, and then I'm going to put the answers, the actual answers next to the questions in a few seconds. Good luck! So, what is the title of the story? The title of the story is Monsters Under My Bed. Who is the main character of the story? The main character of the story is Blossom. What made Blossom jump out of bed? She heard a noise and jumped out of bed. Where was the sound coming from? The sound was coming from under her bed. How did Blossom feel? Blossom felt scared. She was very afraid. Remember, grade 4s. What did she do when she heard the scratching sound? When she heard the scratching sound under her bed, she started calling for her mom. And that's the questions, and that is my answers. Hope you got the same answers, grade 4s. And that brings us to the end of this lesson. Grade 4s, if you have any questions about this lesson, please send an email to grade4@worksheetcloud.com. An activity is provided for you after this lesson. I've included the story with the questions. However, you can ask someone to read it for you again if you'd like to continue with it as a listening activity. Grade 4s, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, but most importantly, I hope that there are no monsters under your bed. So from me, Mrs. Frank, I hope you have a wonderful day further. Goodbye.